So is the strike at the ports going to affect the automotive industry in any way?
Brand new port strike? How's that going to affect your car parts?
Let's find out. Welcome back, boys and girls. mCubeNEWS exclusive. Well, as you all know, the East Coast of the United States and the Gulf Coast of the United States, all dock workers have stopped. They've all walked off the job in a strike during contract negotiations because they want more money and more security that their jobs will never be taken by machines, AI, by automation, much like the Chinese ports already do. So they want to keep their ports uncompetitive and highly expensive. But we want them to have good paychecks, right? Right. Okay. Now, understood that's what always happens, right? Contract negotiations, the union wants more pay and more benefits and concessions for their members. The company that they negotiate with be damned. In this case, the whole country be damned. The whole country just got put in a headlock by the head of the ILA. But in particular, the automotive industry is gonna feel it too. We got an article here, my CBT News. East and Gulf Coast port strike threatens the automotive supply chain. Did you see that one coming? But you know. Let's check it out. U.S. East and Gulf Coast port workers began a strike early Tuesday, significantly impacting the automotive supply chain, with $37.8 billion in vehicle imports processed at these ports in the past year alone. The strike poses a substantial risk to the timely delivery of vehicles and crucial auto parts. Bill Long, CEO of the Motor Equipment Manufacturers Association, MEMA, warned that prolonged disruption could lead to plant shutdowns and layoffs, stating if it's a lengthy strike, it's gonna be a disaster. The strike follows the expiration of a labor contract between the ILA, International Longshoremen's Association, representing 45,000 port workers, and the United States Maritime Alliance, USMX, despite negotiations which included a USMX proposal for nearly a 50%, they offered them 50% increase in pay. Now, these guys are six-figure fellas, all right? They working right now. I mean, dude, I grew up in LA. A longshoreman job is something highly sought after if you can get it. If you're a man, you got your body working, you want to get out there and work, you want to make some money, get on that longshoremen's union. But you know what you got to do to get on the longshoremen's union? You got to be invited in. You got to know somebody who works there. And then you got to wait for somebody to die for you to get a job. But once you got it, you set for life, homie. That is the best thing you could do, short of, a military career where you advance and get to a high rank and get a nice retirement. But man, if you can get to the Longshoremen's Union, you set for life. The ports are notoriously tight as far as who they let in, who they let out, who can maneuver, who can do anything around there. And anytime you got to deliver to the ports, like I do sometimes, I actually have to go in there and deliver. It's like pulling teeth. I had to deliver some machinery to a cruise ship that was about to leave San Diego. Man, they wanted $600 for me just to drive my truck onto that dock and unload this highly heavy electronic business equipment. They wanted $600 cash just to bring it onto and then take it onto the ship myself. It was crazy, but it's run like a Gestapo. This is a communist organization. I'm sorry, but it is. The labor union forces everybody to get together as one and lockstep you all do the same thing at the same time and you're under tight control. That's communism in a nutshell. That's communism, fascism, socialism, Marxism, all of the leftist isms. None of them are on the right. There are some isms that are right of other isms, but they are not on the right. Okay, so let's get that straight. First of all, Nazism, which is socialism, fascism, which they were real close, they are to the right of Marxism, but they are not to the right of anything else. They're just over on the left in their little corner. They have a left and right over there. But the whole spectrum includes capitalism, free market economics, the representative republicanism like we have here. But needless to say, this organization is rough and it's doing big damage because it has extreme power. But anyway, let's get back to the article. What did I say? 50%, right? Okay, the ILA rejected the latest offer, prompting the strike. The USMX, which is the contractors here, expressed hope that extending the current master contract could help resume bargaining. Analysts estimate that the strike could cost the economy about $5 billion a day, affecting various shipments, including cars, light trucks, food, and retail goods. A lot of prescription, a lot of medical stuff comes in from those ports. A lot of prescription medication comes in there too that's gonna get halted. And if it gotta go all the way around to the West Coast, that's mad time. Anyway. Let's see, where were we? The Port of Baltimore, which handled 847,158 vehicles in 2023, is the busiest U.S. port for automotive imports and is among the facilities impacted. The ripple effects could extend internationally, disrupting the European and Asian supply chains. Now, this is just automotive. Major automotive manufacturers are closely monitoring the situation. Toyota, Motor North America's head of sales, Jack Hollis, stated, every single day of these things can cause issues for people to consider. European automakers, including BMW, Volkswagen, may face disruptions in imports, although current high inventory levels could mitigate the immediate effects. Yeah, a lot of car makers got a lot of cars sitting on the lots that people can't buy because interest rates are screwed. But that's a small cushion, might work. General Motors and Ford are implementing contingency plans, while Hyundai is coordinating with its logistics affiliate to ensure continued vehicle delivery. MEMA has called on the Biden administration to intervene, emphasizing that even minor disruptions in the supply chain could lead to larger problems. Notably, 70% of auto parts imports into the United States flow through the affected ports. You get that? And 70% of parts come through these ports that are locked down right now. You got mail. The ILA strike is the first of its kind since 1977 and threatens to exacerbate an already fragile supply chain just weeks ahead of the presidential election. The ILA did this now. I mean, yeah, the contract expires now, right? It has expired. This strike is strictly to put their friends, the Democrats, over a barrel to come in and use their force, use their negotiation tactics or skills to get them their deal. Because if this flies right now in the face of this election, that's going to drive people to say the Democrats are ineffective, the Democrats caused this, or let it happen. And when people start hurting, which is going to happen real soon, they're going to have nobody to look at but Biden-Harris. So this is why this union said, look, y'all better come on in here and save this thing. We're serving it up to you. Now you save it, and we're gonna go ahead and, give you something to save. And, you get us our money. You look good. You can win the election, right? That's the plan. I don't think it's gonna work. Biden's acting like he ain't gonna do nothing about it. I think he's asleep. I don't know. Despite the urgent situation, President Biden has indicated that he does not plan to intervene using the federal Taft-Hartley Act, which could mandate workers to return to their jobs during negotiations. As negotiations remain stalled, business across multiple sectors brace for the potential fallout of this historic strike, which could jeopardize jobs and further strain the economy. Well, yeah, the Taft-Hartley Act, my man, leader of the union, forget his name right now, he said, you could Taft-Hartley all you want. We have to go back to work. We gonna do a sloppy ass, slow ass job. It's gonna be just like we on strike. Plus, you still gonna be paying us. So either way it go, we win. So, well, I don't know. I mean, hell, I would love a 77% increase in pay over 6 years. That would be fantastic. I don't know anybody who wouldn't love that. And I would also love, to be assured that my job would never be made obsolete. Wonderful things. I mean, you know, if you're a member of that union, God bless you. You have made it. You are set for life. You are secure. Your future is great, assuming that this union did not overstep, did not jump the shark, did not overextend itself with this one. This is a big one. Should y'all be able to pull this off, man, you'll be set for life. But you're only set for life because Democrat government loves to protect union workers. And they, you know, because they believe in unions, because unions, like I said, is communistic in its style and its operation and its methods and in its purpose. And it does not help the companies that are union shops. Being a union, having all union workforce, a closed shop, it does not help the business. It only hurts the business. So should the business, like I said, I remember back in, I think it was 1980, 81, Ronald Reagan was early first term. The public employees, air traffic controllers went on strike. Ronald Reagan said, okay, y'all are fired because you can't do strikes here. This has to be in operation at all times. We don't do strikes. You guys are out. We'll find somebody to come in and replace you. And that's exactly what happened. And that union was busted up. And that can happen. And this could happen to the ILA. Public unions really have no place in society. It's not fair, it's not right, because public unions are not only bargaining against the actual company or department that they are working for, they're bargaining against the taxpayer, because the taxpayer funds it and owns it. So it's like, basically right now the ILA was not technically a public union, because this is not a public company. These ports are privately owned, but they are public utilities for the most part. This particular, the ILA has taken all of us hostage. We all are being struck against, okay? Everybody that takes medicine, everybody that drives a car, everybody that, you know, does anything, uses anything through a port, we're all being taken hostage here. And, I mean, even FDR, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, one of the kings of socialism, communism, moving the nation to the left, he was against public unions because there's really no need. Public unions also bargain against unlimited budgets for the most part, which means they can always go in and demand more and more and more and more and more, and the government will be able to pay it. That's why, like, foreign airlines, like German airlines, British airlines, things like that, they're all owned by the government. So when their unions go for a strike, the country loses all of its air travel, all of its state-owned travel. So they are quick to just flood money in through the treasury and pay them what they want. And it's great for the workers, horrible for everybody else. I don't think this is a good thing. I think it needs to end. I mean, you know, most people know how to negotiate for a job. And if you don't want to work somewhere and they're not paying enough, you don't work there. And if it's really not enough, nobody will work there. Nobody should work there of any quality. And they will have to raise their wages, or they'll have to offer more. Or If you want to work somewhere and you want too much, and there are way more people out there than you that can do your job just as well as you and are willing to do it for less money, they get the job. Because it's all about efficiency. We got to do everything for the least amount. When you go to the store and shop, you go to a store that gives you the most stuff for the least amount of money, right? When you buy a house, when you buy a car, you're looking for the lowest price you can get for what you want. You're not going to pay nobody extra just to be nice. Companies, when they're looking for labor to purchase, they want to purchase the best labor they can for the least amount of money. That makes the business more efficient. That means the business can make a profit and continue on and then be in a position to offer more money. Just like anything else, the price of labor is a commodity just like anything else. The price of labor will be what the market demands and what people are willing to pay and what people are willing to get paid. The consumer is king, but unions artificially inflate the price of labor, especially at their shop. And then that makes everything their shop does way more expensive. So the U.S. ports, East Coast ports, if they agree to the 77% pay raise, that means everything that they ship through those ports is going to become way more expensive. And, the ports kind of got a stranglehold on the country too, because there's no real competition. Right? West Coast is a longer trip. Stuff ain't coming from that way. So it's difficult. If we had real competition with the port systems, it wasn't owned by one or two companies, it would be a little bit easier to do these things. And unions just get in the way of that. This union makes all the ports one company because their whole workforce is all one company. And, I guess the union bosses are making their money off of this system, and they get plenty of donations to go to the Democrats, and the Democrats love it, and that's why they will not fight them on this. And it's going to continue until it just gets broken by pure economics. But until then, we'll just keep waiting and watching, and we'll watch our prices go up, and we'll watch everything collapse. And, I don't know, the voting time's coming up, so get your vote together. But I'll be voting Hemi for the time being, and my cars will keep running as long as I get parts for them. And I pray that this works out. Thank you. Good night.